It's Christmas Eve in L.A.
California.
Is Daddy coming home soon?
Well, we'll see what Santa and Mommy can do, okay?
A New York cop, John McClane, has come to see his wife.
I missed you.
Instead, he's going to have to save her.
Hello. My name is Steven, and this is the Movie Club Podcast. With me this week is the editor of most of, if not all, of the Movie Club Podcast episodes, Shakis. Hi, Shakis.
What's good, people? I think I've edited every single one.
Okay, I thought so too. I just had to throw that in there to be sure, in case Trey's listening and he's like, "No, I edited one podcast." And I'm like, okay, now I'm inaccurate. He's fact checking me. Shakis and I, in this episode, we're going to be talking about John McTiernan's 1988 classic action film, Die Hard. The synopsis is as follows. An NYPD officer tries to save his wife and several others taken hostage by German terrorists during a Christmas party at the Nakatomi Plaza in Los Angeles. Now, Shakis, question on everyone's mind. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Oh man. Yeah, it is.
It is. I know.
I was literally waiting for you to finish your whole intro. Just be like, you gonna have to redact that. This is not an action film, it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
It's a Christmas film.
This is.
Man.
It has no why well, hold on. Why is it a Christmas film to you? There are some people that would say that it's not a Christmas film.
I told them a while for one. For one, the time of year. All you gotta do, it's Christmas time. Christmas movie, in my opinion. Just like how Spider-Man is a Thanksgiving movie. We'll leave that for another podcast. There's so many the music has Christmas song thematic motives all throughout the movie. There's all sorts of like jingle belly sound effects, and then there's dialogue that they make references to it specifically being Christmas holiday specifically. Like,
yeah, no,
they're doing everything to tell you, hey, this is a Christmas movie,
right? This
is Christmas time. By the way, it's Christmas.
Yeah. It's in the synopsis. They're at a Christmas party during a Christmas party. There's Christmas music, like you said. There's Christmas dialogue. They talk about it being Christmas. The reason why he's coming from New York to LA is to see his kids for Christmas, try to rekindle a relationship with his wife, maybe on Christmas. That's whole reason why he's in town. Like, and he just so happened to be showing up at this Christmas party that he didn't really want to be at.
He did not want to get. He did not want to show up, bro.
He did not want to be there at all. And so it's definitely a Christmas movie. Now, do you think that this is a classic? Do you think this is a classic action movie?
I think so.
Okay. How many times have you watched it? This wasn't your first time watching it, right?
No,
okay.
I've seen. I think this is like my third time watching it, because I watched it like in the last 2 years, I think, for the first time. We watched it back in our old apartment, and then I think I watched it within a year of having watched it the first time. And then I watched it today, so that's 3. I'm pretty sure.
I've watched it multiple times. Have you seen the rest of the franchise?
I've only seen it.
You've only seen this one. No, that's I would say that's pretty good. I can't say that I recommend the rest of the franchise outside of the third one. I really like the third one. That one has Samuel Jackson in it, and it's pretty entertaining. The second one is pretty. Everyone always says, "Oh, it's Die Hard," but at an airport, and it's feels more like a Die Hard movie than the third one, but the third one is much better. It's a much better film.
Okay.
Well, I just looked up my rating for the third one, Die Hard with a Vengeance. I gave it a fucking 10 out of 10. And the thing is, Die Hard with a Vengeance and Die Hard are the only two movies in the franchise that are directed by the same person. Die Hard, directed by John McTiernan, and then he didn't direct the second one, which I feel was lackluster. Then the third one, he came back, and I thought the one was amazing. Whether it's a Die Hard movie or not, whatever, is up to other people to determine. But yeah, I think that it's exceptional.
Okay, I'll have to check it. I'll get to them eventually.
I don't remember the third one enough to be like, oh, you can skip it. You can skip the second one. I think you should watch the first one. I think you can skip the second one, watch the third. I don't think it's integral to the plot of the third one, but whatever. Right. I'm mad that John McTiernan hasn't directed a movie since like 2003 because that man went to jail for not undisclosed reasons. We know why. The internet knows why. He's not a bad guy though. Something.
Why did he go to jail?
He went to jail because he hired a private investigator to like wiretap somebody, like two people, and then he lied to an FBI investigator about him hiring a private investigator to illegally wiretap the phones of two people. So he went to jail for lying to the FBI.
Oh.
Yeah, but I'm saying that now.
Yeah, it's not nothing crazy.
It's not. Yeah, it's not anything crazy. People have done crazier things and still gotten to make movies. So I'm saying release. I mean, he's already out of jail, but release John McTiernan from director jail because I would like to see this man direct some more things. He directed Predator too. I mean, Predator as well, not Predator too. Okay. And then he directed. Yeah, people like Predator.
People think he's a great director, so I'm confused.
Right? Yeah.
Anything in 17 years.
That's what I'm saying. Give this man another franchise. Give him another chance.
He won't wiretap anyone else.
He won't. I guarantee you, he won't. Not anymore. What are some things that you liked about this movie? About Die Hard?
Without spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
I like how simple it is. Like the synopsis boils it down a lot, but it's a really simple movie, but they do things extraordinarily to make the simple things stand out.
Yeah.
The one thing that bothers me though about it, just an aside, for some of these old movies, is the ADR. Maybe it was just because I watched it on HBO.
Mm-hmm.
The audio track is slightly off, so it's not horrible old Japanese movie dubs.
Yeah.
Or kung fu flicks where the dubbing is just it's obvious, but it was it wasn't synced. But I feel like that's a common thing for some older movies, 80s, 70s. The older you get, the more likely that is a thing that could happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, shit, lost my train of thought.
Can I interrupt for a second?
I like John McClane. Wait, what did you say?
No, go ahead.
I like Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
I like his performance in here. I like the way I like how snide his character is and how much of a dick he is, but he's also not a terrible, a horrible person.
Right.
Alan Rickman gave an
Oh my
amazing
gosh.
performance in this movie. May he rest in peace.
Yeah, he absolutely killed it.
Just destroyed this role in the best way. And I like some of the background characters, the main conflict character aside from Alan Rickman, this random German Russian dude. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, you talking about the dude with the blonde hair?
Yeah,
they came back. Yeah.
Like I like a lot of those guys and just like how they get dealt with. And it's just also I really enjoy that there are Black people in this movie that aren't like they're not like the main focus, but what they do in this movie is actually important for the plot.
Right.
And I can't really go further without spoiling what I particularly like about it, but I just like the representation of Black people in this film.
Yeah.
Give them another movie.
Right. And it's not they're not like a caricature at all. No, they are very much like there's depth to their character and they like, feel real. They feel like a real person because they're written well. They have real dialogue and there's depth to there's backstory to them.
Exactly. Like even though the Argyle, you could like argue like he's like a Black guy from the 80s or whatever, and like just like strictly label him as that. It's like that's like what he's doing like in movie for a paycheck. Literally doing it like to get tips, but it's like he's also just like chilling and just having a good time.
Right.
So I was like, he's just a chill dude.
Yeah, exactly. He's a chill dude. Just so happens to be caught up in this, kind of.
Just trying to do his job.
Right. Yeah.
Caught up with this terrorist.
And it was his first time driving a limo too.
Didn't.
I watched this movie last night at the drive-in with my fiance Morgan, and this was her first time watching it. I was very worried because she doesn't like older movies. She's like, oh, I'm not gonna. I mean, she doesn't like sci-fi, but I was like, she's like, oh, I'm not gonna watch Alien, and like she does. She's like very adamant, like, no, I'm not gonna watch Alien. She like, doesn't like watching The Thing, which is like my favorite movie, and she really liked this movie. I was very worried about like her liking it, but like her and I watched it with 3 other friends, and it was 2 of the other people's first time watching it too, and everyone liked it more than the other movie we watched that came afterward, which was Lethal Weapon. No podcast coming soon because no podcast coming soon.
You don't want to subject people to that. I can get it though. Like I think it doesn't really date, like it dates itself with like having like corded phones. But like, it's an old movie and they're in an office. Of course they have phones. We still have offices that are but like it's very relatable. It's a very like I said, it's very simple, but they do everything simple on a higher level and everything works together.
Yeah. So, there's nothing when I was watching this movie, and it's not like the music choices, soundtrack or score, or the things that people were saying, or the technology that people were using. It was nothing really stood out being like, oh, that's dated. Exactly. And I think it was very much the opposite for like Lethal Weapon. But like this, like you said, it's a well-written movie, and it doesn't rely on technology or anything else. Like even like when John McClane is checking in at the party and is trying to like find where Holly is, Like that didn't look old. I mean, the movie is old, but it didn't look like it's not something that's like sticks out. I was like, oh, he's using a payphone. Remember payphones or something like that.
Oh God,
And they're like, and they were like using, and they were like using walkie-talkies, and it's like something that people still do. So it's like this movie, I feel like won't. I think it'll stand up to the test of time.
I think so.
And like, it's going back to something that you said. I like how Deadpool. I mean, I like how John McClane isn't like Deadpool. Deadpool is like very much a.
I was about to be like, what?
John McClane is very much like Deadpool. He isn't much like Deadpool. Deadpool is very much like a quip machine, whereas like John McClane just happens to have like a sense of humor, and it's like realistic. And he says like, it's not even like he says these kind of one-liner things and it stands out. It's just like kind of just seems natural for him to say those kinds of things, like I don't know, like when if he kills someone and then he says something, it feels kind of natural for his character to say. It's not like it's not like something out of character. They wrote that in. They're like, oh, this could be a great line for him to say. It just felt like something. It felt real to the character.
And it was his performance that really sealed that authenticity too. Yeah,
man.
This is one of those times where good writing met a good actual performance too. So it's like, it's A1. It's A1 stuff.
It is, and he's such a vulnerable hero. Like the, I don't know. I'm not sure if.
I was about to say, you ready?
I was gonna say I'm tipping into spoiler territory. Let's get into spoilers. We've been talking for about like 15 minutes. That's not spoilers
already.
I know. We only have 15 minutes to talk about spoilers. So yeah, let's get into spoilers. If you have not seen Die Hard, I cannot recommend it enough. This is one of my favorite films of all time. I think that it is straight up 10 out of 10 or A+. Sorry, Trey, if you're listening. It is definitely one of those films that I would hold on before we get into spoilers. Let me just say this last piece. I was scared to watch it before I had seen it because it's Die Hard. Everyone talks about it. Everyone's like, oh my God, this movie's great. And as I've talked about in other episodes, watching movies that other people see are classics and think are great, it worries me because I'm like, oh man, I'm watching this movie. There's so much hype behind it. What if it sucks? What if I don't like it? And then but I don't foresee a lot of people disliking this movie. There's not a lot to hate here. It's genuinely great movie, and I think if Morgan liked it, and it's from 1988, and it's an action film, then I think everyone else will like it. Also, one note, she said we were watching it, and I think there was like an explosion or something, and she was like, wow, I was so caught up in the relationship drama that I forgot that it was an action movie. And I thought that was funny. Obviously she was kidding, but I was like, that's very funny.
Oh man.
So now let's get into spoilers unless you have anything else you want to say.
I was just gonna say that the only type of person that I could see maybe not liking Die Hard is someone who wants Die Hard to be a different type of movie than it is. Like with the way action movies now with like John Wick, where he is going to get a kill count of like 30 or 40 side characters in a film. That's people that look for that type of thing where there's like, I'm looking for here for the kill count instead of taking it, for what it is. I could see them maybe not liking it. And even then they still might like it because it's like, I think it's actually a genuinely good film, like across the board.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's go back there then. I think that if people are looking for a kind of like Fast and Furious type of movie or like a kill count kind of movie, then they won't like this. I think they wouldn't like the other installments in the franchise. Like, I believe the fourth and fifth one, I've seen the fourth one. I don't really remember it much. I think there's more killing in like the fifth one. The fifth one is more a typical action movie. It's like Taken, and there's kill count and explosions, but this movie is very much contained. It's all takes place in all the action takes place inside this one tower, and there aren't that many kills.
So there's like 12.
I think there's less.
That's the most amount of kills he can get.
Yeah. Well, and it's I think you're right. I think if someone is looking for that kind of like big bombastic juggernaut of a movie like Fast and Furious, or looking for a kill count and like special kills, then this isn't the movie for them. This is a small it's a movie that's kind of like Alien. It's a contained movie. There's a set amount of characters, set amount of people that can be killed.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into spoilers then.
So what do you want to talk about first?
Well, I was going to talk about what I was saying earlier was he is a vulnerable hero, and it's like at the very opening is him kind of being vulnerable. It's like we meet this New York cop who is on his way to LA, broken relationship, broken marriage, and he's afraid of heights. Not heights, flying. He's afraid of flying.
Yeah.
The guy next to him is like, make fists with your toes, and then obviously that comes into play later where he's barefoot. And then they shoot out the glass. He steps on the glass. Like, this man, he gets hurt in this movie.
He gets hurt a lot in this movie.
He gets hurt. And it's like, I like how he's wearing a white tank top, and then it just keep progressively throughout the night worse, more bloody, more dirty.
Throw some dirt on it. Just go ahead. The sand. Also put some blood on it. Like, it's I remember a story where it was like someone's job, like aside from like keeping continuity, someone specifically was like, make sure the dirtiness level is consistent across, how this movie goes on. And I was like, man,
that is a difficult job.
Yeah. Like,
I read that they had like, I want to say like 17 undershirts that he, like different variations of, like how he changed them over. How they had 17 variations that he would change into depending on what point in the night it was in. Like, that's wild. That is absolutely wild.
Like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. I just think about it. It's like there's so much craziness that starts happening in the second half. With Alan, with his identity being revealed, and Alan Rickman figuring out
the news reporter being a dick.
The reporter being a dick.
Oh my gosh. I wanted to murder that dude. And then like the news reporter, and then the other dude that was at the party. And he was like, hey, John. Yeah, I told him. Oh my gosh. And he's like, John, I love how John was like, hey, no, you don't understand. They're going to kill you. Tell them that you don't know me. And then he was like, come on, Johnny, give him the detonators. And then he didn't. And then he died. And I was like, well, you probably shouldn't have gave him his information.
Yeah, he was one of those sleazy corporate dudes.
Yeah.
That
introduced doing coke, so it wasn't gonna go
coke, like off of his desk, and the boss is just like, not even giving a fuck about that.
Right,
like, the coke is on his desk, and John's like, yeah, you missed some. Like when he sees it, and then he's trying to get with John's wife. Yeah, and it's, oh my God, just die already.
I like how this. I like how this movie has stakes. It's like you can tell that there's a power struggle. So it's like the movie will paint John into a corner, and that's like he he has to kill them or start getting in a fight with them, and then it's like there's stakes, and it's like he gets hurt with the glass in his foot, and then the owner of Nakatomi Plaza, he gets killed, and then it's like the other guy gets killed that gave up John's identity. So it's like people just keep getting killed, people that we know or are introduced to. So it's like we know that these people are serious, and it's like we know that John is just a normal guy in this movie.
I was just about to say he's just a normal dude he's just a cop. I mean, he's been a cop for a long time, like over a decade or something like that.
Yeah.
But like he's just like a normal dude. These guys have like formal training. They have fucking rocket launchers. Who just has rocket launchers ready? They have the technology. They have this information. They have training. They are about this. He is a dude.
Yeah, he didn't even want to be at this party.
He did. He was even like fuck, what did he say? It was like I'm just the guy who got invited to the party on mistake or something like that. And I'm just like, yes, that is who you are. You are just a dude. They decided to come here to fuck shit up. The introduction of them, right? After they do like a foreshadowing shot with like the truck or whatever, they do it like again, and then after that, you just have this great sequence of them murdering the dude at the front desk, taking out the cams, assuming his identity, some hitman shit, and setting up the parking garage and the whole operation, like all at the same time.
Yeah, they came prepared.
100%. And then they have the third black. There are 3 black people in this movie, by the way.
Yeah,
there are 3 black people in this movie. At the end, there's still 2. There's no rule of 1 for the black people in this movie.
Right.
There's a rule of 2. The third black guy in this movie is like a tech genius, able to hack anything. He's got this whole hack job ready by the time Alan Rickman shows up.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, when they reveal Alan Rickman as like the guy in charge, that's a really good shot. They didn't tell you he's the guy in charge. They show you he's the guy in charge. I really like that shot.
Yeah. And that's a lot of what this movie does in general. It's beautifully directed, and the way I'm guessing the relationship between the director and the cinematographer to create these shots, like the shot where Hans Gruber is he jumps down and then he sees the feet, and then you can see his face change on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "Oh my God, you're one of them!" And he just like changed his accent and like,
"Oh, bro, these British motherfuckers, bro, with the accents, man, it's crazy."
Oh my gosh!
And the best part is like during that whole thing is like we know all of the information, right?
Yeah.
And you know, John's not stupid, as we see at the end of that sequence, that he knows that this guy is actually, you know, if he doesn't know he's the boss, he knows he's not a regular guy.
Yeah.
And it's like the tension is so high because it's like, who's gonna figure out who first?
Right.
Hans knows that he's John. John doesn't know he's Hans, but he knows he's one of the guys.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm not gonna kill him immediately. You know, that wouldn't be smart.
Right.
I'm going to try and get a little something out of him.
Yeah.
And
he gives him the gun.
And he gave him the gun. I was like, bro, why?
He's like, no, don't give him the gun. Don't give him the gun. and then he's like, oh, how stupid do you think I am? And then the elevator rings and he's like, and then Hans says something. He's like, no, pretty dumb.
He's like, well, you're up against us, so not that smart.
Right.
Type of thing. It's like I just love it.
Yeah.
Like Alan Rickman fucking really showed his ass off in this movie.
He did.
In the best way. Like every scene. Which one is my favorite? Because they everything stands out because it's so good. So
yeah. There's so many.
Stand out.
memorable moments, like of course the air vent, which is like the iconic shot of him in the air vent flicking the lighter and then saying, like mumbling to himself about like, oh, let's come to the coast, it'll be fun, we'll have a few laughs, we'll all get together.
Oh my god, that seeing that scene where he's got to use the gun as a as leverage to like not fall to his death 30 floors. In the right before that, like he got lucky.
Yeah.
Like he's like the luckiest dude in that section of the movie, because like he's reaching for the one above that, the vent a couple floors above that. He falls and is almost like on some Uncharted shit, like just manages to like hold on to a vent. And then was it Carl? Was that the dude who had the brother?
Carl.
I can't remember the German.
About one of the terrorists? Yeah,
the dude with the L'Oreal hair, who his brother got killed.
You're talking about the
John dead
blonde, long-haired dude that got strangled with the chain?
Yeah, that guy. I can't remember what his character's name was. But like when he shot at John in the vent,
it was Carl.
I did remember him. But like he was just like a couple feet off. John like in the arm.
Right.
And it's just like he's, testing the vents with a gun to try and feel the resistance. Like he was so close to dying because he couldn't do anything.
Right.
And
he was helpless.
Like he has his gun out, but like, are you gonna aim a gun? Like he's gonna
he's
gonna shoot his hand off.
Right.
Instead, if it doesn't kill, he's definitely dead.
Yeah.
But like, oh my god, like he takes a shot to the arm after that, and he's kind of hits that invincible action hero mode.
Mm-hmm.
But like, because he got shot in the arm, but it could have been like a clean shot or whatever, and then could have he's hopped up on adrenaline, so he doesn't actually worry about it. But that's like there's like 10 or 15 minutes left in the movie at that point, so it's not like he's the Equalizer or Jason Bourne or something,
right?
Where he's invincible the whole entire movie, like introducing him as vulnerable and then actually doing something with it at pivotal points in the movie is like so very well done.
It's not
so well done.
Yeah, it's not enough for them to just say that he's vulnerable. It's enough to they actually develop it and show it. They're like, okay, this guy, he's afraid of lights, and it's like, oh, he gets shot. Oh, he has glass in his feet, but he keeps charging through. Because like, what else would he do?
He is literally trying to save his wife so that they can go home.
Right. That's all he's trying to do.
Like he's just trying to save his wife so they can go home.
He didn't come there to be a hero.
Literally getting over his fear of flights when they started killing everybody and taking over the building.
Yeah.
Like he has no time to get comfortable except for certain parts where it's just like
he's
I'm
like
tired.
Yeah, he's like, I'm tired. He's like smoking a cigarette and he's like, hold on. And it then never really feels like the movie slows down for him either. It always feels like the terrorists are always looking for him, for the most part. It's never like he really gets to take a break, even though he tries. And it's like every time he tries something new, like, oh, I got it. And let's pull the fire alarm, and then the cops will come, and then it's like, oh nope, they stopped them, and then now they know where you are, and it's like trying to call, and he's like, oh, I'll use the emergency channel, and then it's like the emergency channel, they were like, no sir, please get off the line, this is for emergencies only, and he's like, no shit, lady, what does it sound like? I'm trying to order a fucking pizza. It's like that's such a just like great line, and it feels real, and it doesn't seem like it was written to be a joke. It was like genuinely something that this man would say. It's not like the movie never stops for him to tell a joke. It's just like woven into his character, which is it's so refreshing from watching something like now. It's like you always have the one comedic character.
Yeah, everything's so like he's definitely like a trope of a character, but he also just has good writing backing him up. And now it's just like, well, we got to have this type of character, and then we need the sassy character, and we need the serious character.
Right.
It's like watching, and I know you don't watch anime, but like anime is so heavy on like I call it trope culture now because it's just so fucking huge. Like there always has to be a full mix of characters. You got to have a serious one, you have to have one that's responsible, you got to have a klutz, you got to have someone that's trying to be funny. You got to have the weird one. Like there has to be all these different types of characters that you don't really need to try so hard on certain characters because they're here just to fill the slot to be funny. So we don't really make them actually a good character, or they're just serious, so they're just going to be serious, or we're not going to do anything else. It's good to see good writing just actually be displayed and just actually get to shine.
And it's like we talked about earlier, the trope of like, I almost called him Carl Winslow, Al, him being, his character has so much, I don't know, there's so much there, and it's not just the writing, it's like you said for Bruce Willis, it's what he brings to the character. There's a realness there, and it's like he's talking about how he has a pregnant wife, and then when he's talking to John, and John's like, tell my wife that I'm sorry, I love her and my kids and stuff like that, and he's like, no, you're gonna tell her yourself.
Love that scene.
I was feeling it. I was like, wow, this is like, it genuinely feels like they are becoming friends. And it's like they only have each other to talk to. I mean, John only has him to talk to, and then it's like Al really only has him to talk to because it's like his fucking deputy chief isn't listening to him. Yeah,
the people outside they don't really know what's up because they just don't have that experience. They're just suits. They're people that just moved up the ladder. They don't deal with the menial shit like actually, being a beat cop or just being actual cops.
And there's like, it's woven into like his story, because all of this just goes into him feeling like a real character, like him talking about like, I shot a kid, and John like making fun of like, oh, you're a desk cop, you're not really a cop or whatever. And then he's like, well, I shot a kid and I didn't want to do that anymore, so I'm a cop, so I'm a desk cop. And then he shoots Carl at the very end.
That was a good round. Circle back.
It's like, it's everything, like it's Chekhov's gun. It's like if you introduce a gun in the first act of a movie, that has to go off by the end or whatever. And there's a bunch of things like that. It's like the making fists with your toes, and there's that. There's not a lot of dialogue in here that's wasted. There's not a lot of things that don't circle back like that. And it can feel like a lot in some movies where it's like, oh my god, of course they brought that up, and now that's gonna come back. If it's like, oh, he was a soccer star and now he knows like kung fu and whatever, it's like, of course he's good. It's just like stupid shit like that, but it's it's stupid shit like that in other movies, but like this movie, it's like not, they don't do it enough where it's like hella annoying,
it's everything feels authentic.
Like, it really does.
like when they go to the hostage situations and you're like, well, what are they going to do with the hostage? It's not like they can really do anything. Well, they can't. So there's like, what are they experiencing? Well, everyone's fucking scared.
Yeah.
And then you have John's wife who's like worried about him pretty much the whole time. Did they get him? Then she hears, oh, well, someone's causing trouble. Oh, it's John.
Yeah.
And then later on, when Carl and a bunch of dudes just like run through the room, it was just kind of funny. Like it was just comical to just see. It almost felt like a old Hanna-Barbera cartoon where it's just like they just come through and it's like they're chasing somebody, but there's actually nobody there in the film. She's like, oh, he's still alive. He's still okay because only John can make someone that pissed off or something.
Right.
Like
yeah. That was great.
That's how you know she loves him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's like a hard ass when she's talking to Alan Rickman.
I can't end the podcast without talking about how Holly is such a great character, and she's not a caricature trope kind of stereotypical kind of character either. She's not just like a side character. She's not just the wife and like, oh, John, come save me. Oh my gosh. It's like she does things in this movie. It's not just like her being in this movie to just get saved. It's like she oh my god, she talks. Oh my god. I was about to say something, but it reminded me of how annoying that fucking guy Ellis was. And
yeah.
Oh god. Well, hold on. I like how Ellis tried to. He didn't reveal all of the information. It was written well for Ellis to not reveal that Holly was related to John. I liked how Ellis said that John was his guest instead of like selling out Holly. That would have been more unforgivable than what he did. And it also set it up later for the Thornburg to come in it set it up for another reveal to happen where it's like, oh, we know now Hans knows that who John is. And then it's like, oh, now Hans knows who John really is and that Holly is in more danger than before. But yeah, she's like taking care of her pregnant coworker. She's talking to Hans. She's like, okay, well, we got to get some of these people to the bathroom unless you want us all peeing on the fucking floor. And she, I don't know, just the way that she, I don't know, just like her presence isn't like a typical character. She's not like a typical character in a different movie. She feels like she has depth to her without just being the wife. She doesn't just do things in service of John or like their relationship or anything like that. Like she genuinely cares about. She was second in charge. Was second in charge and then first in charge once her boss dies. Like she's taking charge and not just, I don't know. She's just not a damsel in distress, which I really like.
Yeah, that goes. I love it because that even goes into what their marriage is about. Because they have that whole argument where he's like, outside there where he's talking with Argyle in the limo, and he's like, are you divorced? Are you separated? He's like, man, you're fast, Argyle. And Argyle's like pretty much he's like the conduit through which we get John's freaking backstory of
right. He
didn't really support his wife's career decisions. He didn't really think that she was cut out for it. He wanted her to be the wife, and that's what he wanted, and that's what she knew that he wanted, and she didn't want that.
Right.
He rejected it, so that fractured their relationship. And then we see that that's not all. She's not just the wife. She actually could get business done.
Right.
She's a leader. She's she's the person these people are looking up to in times of strife that can get the results. She's caring about the most vulnerable people.
Yeah.
The pregnant woman, the people that are about to shit their pants because they're part of a hostage situation. The people that were fucking in the office.
Yeah. I forgot about that. I forgot about that.
In the middle. I'd be so upset. Like, I feel like if someone were to be like, well, she doesn't do enough in this movie, they could have just cut it. I'd say, well, then you would ask, what about the hostages? And what they put is what would be the best for the pacing of the movie, for what you got.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine if they were like, if she were to have like a whole like huge like main role where she's like killing people or freeing the hostages like in the back way or like shuttling people out or something like that. One, it would take a lot of time. Yeah. And I think that this movie's pretty tight. Like, I think the pacing
no, it is
really good. But if you cut it, then the movie would be missing a perspective that I think that they shed a good amount of light on.
Yeah. I think they did spend just enough time with her and her character. And like you said, with Argyle at the beginning, kind of developed her character more and her and John's relationship more. And it showed, like you said, how she wasn't just the wife, how she was very much her own person, even though John was like, I know you have this opportunity, but I don't want to go to LA. So bye. And she was like, I am my own person. I'm my own independent person. So I'm going to go do my thing. And she was the leader. And she in the hostage situation and in the office, second in charge to Mr.
It's not Mr. Nakatomi either, which keeps
say what was I know I keep what was Takagi. Yeah, Takagi.
Jesus, that was gonna bother me for a long time. Which also hostage situation. Yeah, big boss man, your money ain't important enough. They can get the code.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Code, that was just, man. Oh, and like there's like I talked about how it's like John tried everything he could and then it like kept backfiring on him in several ways. But then I love it how this movie is smart enough, or it's in it. They made the terrorists smart enough to be like, okay, we know that the FBI are going to come in. We know that they're going to turn off the power. That's what we want. Mm-hmm. That was a great scene. And then when the vault opens and they're playing Christmas music and the light is shining on Alan Rickman, and it's like, yeah, there's
Christmas miracles, bro.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And they talk about Christmas miracles. It's such an excellent movie. Like, oh my god, like there's not one part in this movie that I don't like.
I liked every single part.
Yeah,
like this. Again, this is a 10 out of 10. This is S rank. This is an A+ movie. This is film.
Yeah.
This is film, even for the stuck-up film snobs.
Right. Seriously.
Film. This is something that you could go to a theater, and if they're playing this in the theater, you should go see it.
Yeah.
This is something that you can watch at any time, and it is relatable. It's genuinely decent all the way through. Everything is great.
It's an anytime movie. It's an any day kind of movie. And I like how it is. People are like, oh, it's not a Christmas movie. And it's like, it's because it doesn't have like a Christmas feel, or it's like not something you only watch around Christmas. But I feel like since you don't have, I mean, I don't just watch Halloween on Halloween.
Exactly.
I don't watch Die Hard just around Christmas time. And I think that is what makes movies great and timeless. And it's like, if you can watch them at any time, it's like, sure, I can watch like Home Alone or like Home Alone 2, not around Christmas time, but it's like, do I really want to watch the Santa Claus or like Deck the Halls or something like that, or Jingle All the Way? I don't watch those not around Christmas time. Sure, those are Christmas movies, but like that, if you only can watch things one time a year or around one time a year, that doesn't make it a great movie. It's probably not a great movie if you can only watch it one time a year. That's just my piece.
Yeah,
I can say other people will probably think other ways, but I think, I don't know. If you can only watch The Nightmare Before Christmas one time a year, then I mean it is a good movie. You said two. That was true. See, exactly. See, that's what I'm saying. That's the technicality. It's not just one time a year, at least two.
This is a Halloween movie and a Halloween Christmas movie at the same time. I laugh. I still need to see that all the way through. I still haven't seen it all the way through.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
They played that at the drive-in like 2 weeks ago. I didn't go see it. My friend did. But yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good movie.
It is. I've played Kingdom Hearts, and it's a Disney Square Enix game, and they feature different worlds. Like they have Aladdin and Lion King and Nightmare Before Christmas. So like I know the story of it, so that's why I haven't rushed to like see it, because they basically retread the movie in the game a little bit. But yeah. I do need to sit down and watch that. I've seen some of the other Tim Burton things that may or may not be connected in the Tim Burton universe. I've seen some of the theories. But man, like this movie might get played again before the end of the year. It's so good. Like I could honestly, which I don't do this very often, but I could put this on like to the side while I'm doing something else, and I'll just be like, oh wait, this part's about to come up, I need to see this part, this is really great. Right. Like, but I could do that for like pretty much the whole movie, so I'll probably end up just watching the whole movie again.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's just so good.
I think I actually might watch this movie again before the year is up, because it is just, I had this last week when I did the podcast with Trey, just talking about a movie that was also a 10 out of 10.
You see that.
Yeah.
Having to edit that after I watched the trailer first, and then I was like, shit, I don't have enough time to watch this movie before I edit it, so I have to edit it while kind of paying attention, but also kind of ignoring them, so I can watch the movie.
But this movie is like the movie last week I was talking with Trey about. It is very much, since it is a 10 out of 10, and just talking about it with you for however long this podcast is, it just makes me want to watch it even more. And that is what great movies are for me. It's like anytime I think about or talk about Get Out, I'm like, I need to rewatch Get Out because it's such a great movie. and it's like, just with Die Hard itself, I think about one set piece, which is great, and they're all great. I think about one set piece that's great, and it's like when he throws off the body and it throws the body out the building, and he's like, "Welcome to the party, pal." And then because they start shooting into everything, and he's like, "Oh, they're turning my car into Swiss cheese," and it's just like that moment is great. And I think about that moment, and I'm like, "Wow, that movie that moment is really good." And then I think about another moment, and I'm like, "Wow, that moment's really good." And then I'm like, "Damn, that movie's really fucking good," because there's so many. There's like little moment, there's set pieces and moments in the movie, and they're all good. They all add up. They all, and watching them out of context, they're even good. So
perfectly balanced, as it should be.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, I don't think we've talked enough, but I think we have talked enough for this episode. Do you have anything else you want to talk about Die Hard? I know I do, but I'm like, this episode is long.
That's something we haven't talked about yet. really detailed. Because we talked about the music. Something that really, maybe I've realized it before, but maybe I just realized it again as I started watching this, is like how much I like tracking shots.
Oh
And
yeah.
how great it is that they just make the camera feel alive and make you feel like you're actually in the movie. Because again, that shot with the villain, like the whole sequence with them and Alan Rickman and them getting out of the truck and then them going through the halls is just it's so silky smooth.
Yeah.
Like it's just such a smooth sequence that I just love it so much. And I'm just like, if this was on sticks, I would probably not feel anything.
Right. Yeah. I think you make me think about the shot where they get out of the elevator, which is very much like, I feels like Christopher Nolan stole it straight from that and put it in The Dark Knight. Because when the Joker arrives, it's pretty much the same thing. When he arrives at the party, it's the same shot with him surrounded by his guys. I want to say there's more than one moment in this movie where I'm like, oh, Nolan definitely stole that and put it in The Dark Knight. There's multiple moments like that. But yeah, no, there's a lot of nice fluid shots in here, and it really helps with the geography of each floor too. I remember specifically there's one shot where we're following one of the henchmen or terrorists who's like alone by himself. Oh right, and then it's when John messes with the saw to make him like to make him go around the corner. It's like it's a fluid tracking shot of like following him throughout all this unfinished construction level on the floor, which reminds me that the sound design in this movie is great.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna go next.
Yeah. And even the special effects are great too, with the squibs. Oh my god, I cringed when I saw that shot of the guy getting like his knees lit up, and he like, oh my gosh,
bro, I was like, yo, just finish him, bro. Like, just take him out. Don't nobody need to go through that, man.
He had like 5 shots in his leg and on his knees. Oh my god,
like that shot, no pun intended, reminded me of freaking one of the flashback scenes from Family Guy when they're talking about Joe's backstory. Like, you know, he's paraplegic.
Oh.
So whenever they go and talk about his backstory, it ends with him getting shot in the legs like 5 or 6 times, or you know, an obscene amount. But I was like, oh my god, it felt like almost cartoony the amount of times John shot this dude in the leg. Like, good god.
Yeah. And there's not a lot of moments, but it also feels real too. And there's not a lot of moments that are like John Wick, where it's like, oh shit, he killed that guy. Like he jumped on him and jumped over the bar and killed him and stabbed him with a pencil and stuff like that. And it's just like, these are just like normal ass kills, but they're shown, and they're not even shown in like a gratuitous kind of way. But it is very like, I don't know, it feels real the way that he kills most of these people. And obviously like there's go ahead.
I was just gonna say, he just like, you know, 1, 2, 3 to the chest, you're done.
Yeah.
Like even Al at the end, he shot Carl like 4 times just in the chest. It's not like he's aiming for the head and then they got to do a special shot to show the bullet going into his head and all of that. Like it feels like it's just normal.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's just normal at that point. You know, he's, you know, the fact that he's even bringing out his gun and, you know, again, after what happened, you know, that's great for his character, but it's like the action itself is just normal.
Yeah.
It's not like over exaggerated in any way.
Yeah. And the visual effects of that I already talked about, the special effects and the sound design, but the visual effects for this movie too, they don't feel dated. It's like there's so many explosions where it's not like where you can look at it and it's like, oh, that looks very much like 1988. To me, nothing stood out visually where I was like, oh, that explosion looks terrible. Like obviously it's in the computer and it's like, oh, whatever. But then there's again back to the special effects where it's like the explosions of like the police vehicle trying to come into the building and like the RPG that was shot at it twice. Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh my
God. And it looked very good.
It did.
And like all of the windows blowing out when the C4 dropped down the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
It was all very good.
It doesn't feel so dated.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I feel like this movie's going to live on for a long time.
Like at the youngest, it looks like an early 2000s movie.
Yeah.
It came out 20 years before that.
Yeah, absolutely wild.
Like, it's crazy. It's so good. It feels like though this movie definitely feels old because it's not in color, but like Rear Window.
Oh yeah.
Like the movie doesn't feel.
It doesn't necessarily.
When I first watched it, it doesn't feel like it's as old as it is, and if it had like color thrown on it, you wouldn't be able to tell when it came out.
No, wait. I thought Rear Window was in color.
Was it?
I think it is.
Something else. Hold on, bro.
I think that it is.
No, it was in color. I must be thinking about something else. Yeah, it even won an award for having color. It won color.
Imagine winning an award now for having color.
Wait. Oh no, they restored it in color.
Oh, so it was the original shot. Not.
Yeah, there are two versions. The color version also, these screenshots look pretty good. But fuck, I got off track. But yeah, just some of these old movies, man, going back and looking at this shit, I'm just like, man, it's pretty good. Maybe all these film heads were right and movies do suck now. It's like, and then it's like, oh well, I'm only consuming a small amount of movies, just like I would be now. There's some small masterpieces, that came out this year. Couldn't tell you what they were because everything got canceled or put back.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about Die Hard related? I feel like we covered a lot of ground.
Yeah.
For this very long podcast.
We did. Might have to do a part 2 podcast to talk about everything else.
Yeah, seriously. And if we do watch it and if we do rewatch it again by the end of the year, I would be down for that. You, Sharon, you, Trey, or something like that. That'd be cool. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
No, I don't think there's anything else. I feel like we kind of covered everything. Well, we covered a lot. We didn't cover everything.
Yeah.
Just if you're skeptical of Die Hard and then go watch it before reading or listening to this podcast, go see Die Hard. Like, Die Hard is, I know it's sort of cliche at this point to be like Die Hard is like such a great movie, everyone should go watch Die Hard, but you should go watch Die Hard. It's cliche for a reason in this case, and you will not, in my opinion, I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Yeah,
there are very few people that I think would just not vibe with this movie at all.
Yeah, I think especially knowing, like you said earlier, knowing what it is, having your expectations, knowing that it's a 1988 action classic that's a contained movie. There's not cars flying at, like in one of the Fast and Furious movies, there's like a car going through like 3 skyscrapers or something like that. That is not this movie. If you're looking for that, or you're looking for John Wick in this movie and you're looking for a kill count, that's not this movie, like Shakis said earlier. If you're looking for a contained movie, a contained action movie with character development, great characters, and great, just like a very fun, enjoyable time. This is the movie. This is the movie. I feel like you can't not have fun and not enjoy this movie if you're paying attention to it, because it's so good. It's so fucking good. It's an excellent. I would say it's a masterpiece.
I would say so. I would be inclined to agree. There's nothing that I don't like here. I like every frame.
Yeah.
From frame to frame start to frame end. I'm sutured in. I am just enjoying film.
Yeah.
Like
Go ahead.
I was like, I looked up the time. I was like, it's like 2 hours, 10 minutes, or something like that. I was like, 2 hours and 10 minutes? I don't remember Die Hard being that long.
No.
It doesn't feel that long.
It doesn't. It really doesn't feel that long. It doesn't feel like 90 minutes, but it also does not feel like 2 hours. This movie does not drag. Like you said earlier, the pacing is like perfect. There's nothing, it's a very tight movie. There's nothing that can really be cut out of this movie and be like, oh, well, that would make it a better movie, because this movie is exactly the way it should be. It's a masterpiece.
Exactly.
Shakis,
that's all.
Shakis, where can the people find you?
Do I want the people to find me? You can find me on Letterboxd, that I sometimes use while realizing that there are a lot more movies that came out this year that I've actually seen than I anticipated. But it is at Spacetime Legend. That is also my Twitter account. My Twitter account is full of weeb / political stuff. So if you're into that, be on the lookout. Also, insert future SoundCloud plug here when I get my music done and uploaded, when I think it's good enough. But when that time comes, I'll have a new place on the internet. But that's it. You can find me on Twitter and Letterboxd.
I think that you can find me on Letterboxd at CUTTO Black. And I think that's it. I just realized I might have accidentally changed my name to. No, wait, no. Yeah, it's Cut to Black. It's Cut to Black. CUTTO Black. So yeah, you can find me there. Thank you for joining me, Shakis. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that we got to do an episode together, even though Trey basically didn't want Trey wanted to keep you all to himself. And I said, no.
Seems to be, but thanks for having me on. It was good stuff talking the film.
Hopefully we can do it another time. And if
indeed
by the time Trey takes us back over, and you ever watch a movie and you're like, hey Steven, you got to watch this movie, or I already watched it, or I want to rewatch it, or whatever you want to do it, I'll come back. We'll do another episode together, because one is not enough.
It's not enough.
One's not enough. But thank you for everyone for listening. This is great. And thank you for listening. Thank you for listening all the way through. We really appreciate it. I know I do. Shakis does. And I'm pretty sure Trey does. This episode was edited by Shakis Moore and produced by Trey D. Price. Make sure you come back next Wednesday for another episode of the Movie Club podcast. Bye-bye and yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
The last thing McClane wants, think, damn it, think, is to be a hero.
Where's Holly? Hey, Tucker! Where?
But he doesn't have a choice.
What does he think he's doing?
Job.
They have already killed one hostage.
This channel is reserved for emergency calls only.
Lady, do I sound like I'm wearing a pizza?
Thank you for listening to the podcast. Make sure that you check out the other shows that we have on the Facebook, the other main podcast that comes out every other Tuesday. Make sure you leave a like, share it with your friends and your family. Go check out our YouTube where we have content from other Production 1200 works. And make sure you follow us on the Instagram. We post sometimes there. We'll do more. We'll try. Maybe. Like us on iTunes podcast, rate and review. Give us them 5 stars. And we'll see you next time.